got it. So
Okay.
yeah, let me just do my usual checks, man. I'm excited to be speaking to you, man. It's a bit of an honour for me to be chatting with you tonight. So thank you for doing that.
No, it's great.
That's cool, right?
Thank you.
Oh no, you're welcome. We're live, bro. We are live. So Michael
Okay.
Sprott in the house, man. Michael Sprott in the house. Mate, listen to this introduction, man. I British and Commonwealth European heavyweight title holder, also winner of prize fighter. I think you pipped Matt Skelton to that one, if I'm not mistaken. There, shared the ring with. Do you know what's that guy called? Anthony Joshua. Shared the ring with him.
Anthony Joshua.
Audley Harrison. You sparred some pretty big names as well. The Furies, Dylan White, Klitschko. You've been in with some like massive hitters.
Yeah, I've been in with a lot of great fighters. Yeah, from like European champions to world champions. Yeah.
Yeah, man. The first thing that sprung to mind, I mean, you're still a young guy, right? Like, I hope you don't mind me shouting out your age. 40, 45, 46?
46.
Yeah, 46. Like, when we're talking about goals and like purpose and excitement in life, how do you ever recreate something as good as that? So when you're getting bouts strapped around your waist and you're fighting all these big names and you're fighting on the big stage, how do you ever like replicate that going forward once you've left the competitive sport of boxing?
What do I have to do?
Yeah, how do you replicate that? So all that excitement of fighting these big names, these big people, like how do you replicate that going forward when it comes to goals and getting yourself motivated? When you fought at such a high level, like how do you transition from being on center stage to not being competitive in the ring anymore?
Fitness basically. Keep keep myself fit. Getting stronger. Just I still train. I still train now. Like train hard. Like I'm going for a fight. I still train. Just keep me motivated and keep my mind channeled. And then I carry that into. I do personal training. I do one-to-one boxing fitness. And it's being a boxer is one thing, but being a trainer is another. So I've been training for a little while now. So I take it in with me to shine down onto my clients.
Yeah, man.
And try to motivate them as well.
Yeah, I'm sure, man. Have you always been a fighter? Then is this something that was like in you from the start, or was this something you discovered a bit later on in life? Like, how does someone find out that they're a fighter and they want to do that for a living?
Well, when I was young, when I was a kid, I was sometimes I was quite hot headed, and I used to watch a lot of boxing with my dad, Muhammad Ali, Tyson, etc. And I was always shadowboxing, to the fights. And my dad obviously saw that I took an interest to it. My mum wasn't so keen, being 8, and she's like, no, he's not doing it. So when I was 13, I decided I wanted to get into boxing, and my dad took me to a club in Reading, and it was the wrong day. It was kickboxing. So I did kickboxing for a little while. Then my mate Simon Titus, he goes, Michael, I found a good boxing club. It's in Woodley, in Reading. So yeah, we all went down there. There's like a bunch of us, and that's where it all started. And obviously, one by one, my friends obviously they disappeared to other things, and I was the only one who kept going.
So from the age of 8, that was it, man. You were sold on.
Yeah. So yeah. So I was quite quick tempered and stuff, and obviously I channeled my energy into boxing. And once I was there punching the bags and sparring, my quick temper was just gone. It was just like I took it into the ring, training. It just I learned how to control myself.
Yeah,
and be very disciplined.
Yeah, I think that's the challenge now. Do you not think for a lot of young people? So you can imagine that parents might not want their kids in a boxing ring, but also you don't want your kids sat on the computer all day, not getting outside, not being healthy, not exercising either. So it's a tough choice if if your young child wants to go and start boxing. But would you say that it really helped you then in terms of like learning how to conduct yourself, how to be disciplined, and not only how to handle yourself, but just how to like live a decent life?
Yeah, it did. It did. It taught me. Obviously, like, taught me discipline. Channel my energies. And I was more controlled. My temper was more controlled. I was never on the streets fighting or practicing my stuff on the street. Some boxers, they start off and they get good and start taking to the streets. But I was never that. I was always I always conducting myself in a manner, and obviously I had good people behind me. My trainer George and Ricky, that they sometimes I'll be at home on a Saturday evening. I get a phone call. I said, Michael, do you fancy fighting tonight? I was like, I could rock it. Yeah. I jumped up, got my gear ready. My mum said, where you going? I said, I've got a boxing match. And obviously my mum panics, every time I'm fighting. She can't sleep until she finds out I'm okay. She don't care about me win or lose. She wants me to win, obviously, but she's more worried about my health. So I just said yes. I went out there and fought. I'm not doing nothing Saturday, and this happened quite often. Where I bet I'm chilling, I just get the phone call, So I was always up for a challenge. Yeah.
So how much notice did you get with these big fights then? The Anthony Joshuas and the Pulevs that you fought. Like, did you have like full training camps for those, or were you just ready to fight whenever?
I never had full training camp with with Pulev. Cut a long story short, I was in Russia sparring with Alexander Povetkin. So I was there for a whole month, me and Travis Walker, and I caught pneumonia. And the last week I caught pneumonia, and I was really, really ill. Like one more day there, and I don't think I would have been here. I would have been dead. So obviously, Teddy Atlas at the time, he was there. He said he sent me he's got my ticket a day early to get back because I look terrible. So I got back. I was in hospital for 5 days. All the antibiotics and stuff. I think was just shooting through me, all the medication, and then when I got a bit better, obviously I got Jim got a call. I think I was just start back training, but I haven't recovered from pneumonia. I haven't totally recovered, and Jim got the phone call for me to fight Pulev. So I thought about it, and I thought, well, I wasn't too sure. I'm not really 100%, but I thought, you know what, why not? So I said to Jim, I go, yeah, I'll take it. So we went out there, and Jim said, look, Mike, it's not 100%. You're going to win this fight because you're not 100%. You still got a bit of pneumonia. Just go out there, look after yourself, and just do your best. So that's why the fight was kind of like one way in the kind of way. I wasn't very well. And I think Pulev's team knew because Jim obviously told him that he's not 100%. He's not 100%. So I lasted 9 rounds. I wanted to carry on to 12 rounds, but Jim said no, that's enough. He goes, listen, it's one-way traffic now. There's no way you're going to come back from this unless you knock him out. And at the moment now, you're not really throwing much, so save it for another day. And I was like, no. So he called the referee over, said the ref, no more. And he goes, just save it for another day. So yeah, that's how that fight came about. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
obviously,
top fighter, isn't he? Top draw fighter. So like, do you ever look back and think, with a bit more prep, if I'd had a bit more notice, like I could have gone further than what I reached? Because like you say, if you're getting the call, well, one, I guess it forces you to stay ready.
Yeah,
it's like you never get the training camp because I know a few boxers and they have similar experiences. The phone rings the night before, and they roll the dice and they fight.
I'm definitely. If I had proper preparation for this fight, the fight I took short notice, it would have definitely it would have been a different result, 100%. If I had Pulev 8 weeks, 6 weeks training, that it would have been a tough fight for him. I would have really made it hard for him and stuck it on him I probably might have got robbed, but I would definitely would have won. You know, and obviously with Joshua, that it'd be short notice again. You know what I mean? But the strength and conditioning side, when I thought Joshua was very good, but the boxing side wasn't really happening. I think Jim and the team just thought, you know, Joshua's the new kid on the block. It's just a payday, you know. And I thought to myself, if I had proper time, proper preparation, I'm not saying I would have beat Joshua, but I would have gave him more of a hard time.
Yeah, man. How hard does he bang? Like, because you've been hit by some big hitters, man. Is he up there with one of the guys that is the hardest?
Yeah, listen, he can bang a bit. He's a big man. He's 6'7". He's 18.5 stone. And he's not just he's a great athlete. You know what I mean? He's for a big man, he's good. But the hardest I've been hit, I would say, world class, is Corey Sanders, the South African. Oh mate, that was mad power. And the thing is, it's not like he's not Joshua's obviously got the size. He's well built, but with Sanders, he didn't have much definition. Just looked like a normal businessman. I shook his hand. He had small hands, and I knew it's a big punch anyway. But then when I got in there and the bell went and we went out there and he whacked me with a couple of good shots, I said to myself, "Man, I'm in trouble." I knew straight away. He hit my arm. I blocked a shot. He hit my arm and it shattered through my body. I said, "Man, this is something else." And I think when he passed away, Hasim Ruckman, and a few other heavyweights said the same thing. Like, this is the hardest they've ever been hit. Is Corey Sanders. I spoke to Vladimir and Vitaly Klitschko in the camp, and I said, "What do you feel of Corey Sanders' punch?" And Vitaly's just like, "Whoa!" It goes, "Mate, that's different class, man." I mean.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, how did your career come to an end then? Because I know you had quite a lot of fights at the back end of your career. Like, how old was it when you said, "Do you know what, I'm done with this sport. It's kind of it's not for me anymore," or I don't want any part of it? How old were you at that stage?
I'm not retired, mate. I've never retired.
Still fighting, bro.
No, listen, I haven't fought in about maybe 3.5 years. But I always kept saying to them, I want one more. I want one more. There's always that one more, you know what I mean? But I basically, I just want to win, get a win or a couple of fights and then call it a day. But I've never officially retired, no.
Right, okay, mate. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about purpose earlier. That, it must be such a hard sport to come out of because, like you said, there's always that. Like, because if you end on a loss, I guess you want to end on a win, and then if you win, that feeling must be incredible. Like, I mean, this is what I was trying to say. Like, how can you replicate that going forward? It must be hard for somebody at your level to say I'm done, because it must be pretty cool to be so competitive in what you love.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's hard because that's all you've done. That's all you know from when you're 13, and it wasn't like I was boxing for a bit, then left it, and then come back. I was from 13 up to now. I've always been like I was always in the gym. If I had to go sparring, if I had to go training camp, I was everything. I gave boxing everything. So it's hard to then when you know it's the end of your career, but when you know you're past your best, and it's like it's done. And it's like, well, I mean, you can't really get that. It's hard to get that feeling. That's why boxers keep coming back. They keep, like Shannon Briggs and Bernard Hopkins. He couldn't really stop. Come back. You can't. And around Holyfield, that feeling when you're going into the ring and you're walking out, the crowd, the noise, the atmosphere, the glory. It's hard. That's why boxers can't really. It's hard for them to say, "You know what? I'm done. I'm retired." And then like a year later or two, I'm coming back.
No, I can imagine. I mean, we'll watch it, and we want to be the boxers. We want to do the entrance walk, and we want to get in the ring. Like, if you love the sport of boxing, then you guys are like our heroes. We want what you've got. So I imagine it's hard to give up. I mean, that let's face it, it's not nice getting smacked in the face all the time.
No, it's not. But I mean, at the end of the day, you've got to look after yourself, and you've got to look after yourself the best you can. Even if you're like a lot older, you still want to go in there. You just got to box smart. It's not so much about being brave anymore. It's about being smart. And you have to be, yeah, because obviously you got to be careful.
Yeah. Do you worry about like your safety? Like every time you step in the ring, or do you have to forget that as a boxer? Can you not let that enter your head?
No, I'll always say a prayer before I go out,
Yeah.
and I always pray that it's not so much like, oh, yeah, I want to win. I always pray that me and my opponent after the fight, we come out with our health intact. And for me, that's the main thing. You know, that's the main thing in boxing, that you come out of boxing healthy, because it's yeah, it can be quite, when you see boxers who've been injured, and like, like Michael Watson and Joe McLennan,
Yeah.
and then you had these other fighters who've died in the ring and died in their sleep. It's quite funny.
Yeah, that's why I always think, when you're taking the fights on last minute, it's almost like, obviously, you decide to take the fight, but
Yeah,
you ever question whether it's fair or not? Like, because like you say, you're getting in the ring with, I mean, you're heavyweight as well. Like you when you get hit in heavyweight, you get hit, right? It's dangerous. So do you ever think that in boxing, sometimes like there needs to be better rules around the whole last minute phone calls? Because, if you're a fighter and you need the cash and you want to fight, you'll fight. But there's an element to me there where you've got to be careful when people are stepping in the ring with the likes of Klitschko's and quality fighters like that. Yeah, like that. Do you think that's where it could get a little bit more dangerous than what it needs to be, or am I off on that one?
yeah. So I've never really thought of it, really, to be fair, but it can be, yeah. You've got to be careful, because if you're not in, I'm always a guy who's always in the gym, or doing some kind of fitness, or doing some kind of work that relates around fitness. I've never been someone who just like stomps and then piles a load of weight and then get a phone call and like, oh, Blair, I'm like 3 stone over. I've always been in quite decent shape, so you yeah, you've got to be in some kind of decent shape, really, for your health. But for those who, like, I've never seen. Do you remember the heavyweights? What's his name? Montana. Sol
No,
Montana.
no.
So he was a he was a Mexican strong puncher, cruiserweight. Then he went up to heavyweight. No,
Right.
so basically, do you remember Jonathan Banks?
Yes.
So Jonathan Banks, we were all training at a Klitschko camp, and then we all fought on the bill. But Jonathan Banks' opponent had pulled out, so they brought in Son Montana, and he came in like 2 days or 3 days notice from the States, and he was in no shape whatsoever. Ain't been in the gym for a while, and he had a bit of a gut in him, and he just put the gloves on, and he gave Jonathan a good fight, but at the end of it, he was knackered. Went in the change rooms. He lay on his back. It was in pain. He's just yeah. It was in big pain, and that's what I mean. If you're not really prepared, yeah, then yeah, you can't get hurt. You can get injuries, all sorts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I work with a lot of guys, and we're constantly talking about mission and mental health and
yeah.
being motivated and so on. So do you think much about like your future and what you're going to do once the boxing days are over, or do you just live day by day and think about the next fight?
Oh no, you do think it's better both, really, but yeah, you think about your future. Like I said, I'm doing obviously that personal training 1-to-1. I'm trying to get my own boxing gym, and I've applied for my pros seconds, trainers seconds. So obviously I want to do corners and so on, and I want to work with some some up and coming prospects. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like I've been there. I've been there, and I've won over the titles, and I want to share my experience.
Sure, man. I'm guessing you must find it hard to train, like the general population, like a normal guy who just wants to lose a few pounds. I'm guessing the competitive nature you fought at, you need to train hungry and motivated people, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'm working. I'm helping out with some kids at the moment, but yeah, I'm looking to hit London. I'm working some of the gyms out there.
Yeah. Because you're based in Reading still, right? You're a Reading fan as well, aren't you? Arsenal as well.
Reading, and Arsenal.
Yeah. What are you thinking to the Arsenal? What do you think to Arteta? Is he the man?
He's the man, mate.
Yeah. You're happy with that one?
Yeah. Who do you support?
Well, I'm a Coventry lad, so
Oh,
yeah, they're my team. I'm not such a big fan of the football anymore. I used to be really into it, but no, I like my football. I like my boxing, but
yeah,
I'm not a hardcore follower like I used to be. I can't give up on Saturdays anymore. You know, it used to be a whole day of going down the football, and then I'd be in a bad mood if they lost. And I thought I can't be doing with that. So the boxing gym. Are you looking at setting that up like local or in London, or what plans do you have for that? That sounds exciting.
Local if possible.
Yeah,
local if possible. But I've had a few people. I've had a few people say to me I should do it in London.
Maybe.
But I think the thing of London, there's a lot of competition. I mean, there's competition everywhere, but yeah, it's a tough one.
Well, I know that area quite well. My sister's down in Wokingham, which is not too far from Reading. So yeah, I think you should do it there, man. Then I can.
Do you know what Wokingham?
Yeah, that's where my sister.
Yeah, so I live maybe about 5 minutes away from Wokingham.
Oh, that's fun. I love it down there. I love it.
Yeah, so there's a gym there. There's Embrook boxing gym in Wokingham, and they cancel. I think they spent like £300,000 on some combat gyms, a combat gym, because there's been high demands in the area for boxing and kickboxing and stuff. So they're opening a gym there. I think it's opening soon, and obviously it's not a boxing. It's not like a club, as where fighters can go there and just train.
Oh, nice, man. Is that where you're doing the majority of your training then? Is that where you're at, or
no. I'm going to go down there and just see the owner, and obviously I'll go from there.
I'll have to go down. I'm not sparring you though. I know that. Hey, you'd have to pay me a lot of money to get in the ring and just spar with you, even if you were nice to me, just for one round. I wouldn't get in there for nothing. I certainly wouldn't do the last minute phone call the night before. Alex, do you fancy sparring tomorrow? I'd be like, no.
Oh, mate. Oh, it was good. It was good, mate. It was good of us. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure, man. So, like I say, with a lot of the guys that I work with, Michael, like we often delve into the whole mental health scene, because for me, it's as important as the physical training. You know.
Yeah.
Getting the body right for me is one of the best things you can do for your head. Yeah, eating well. But we kind of like to encourage the guys, I guess, to talk, but to take action as well. Now, I know you've had your kind of fair share of challenges in life as well. I hope you don't mind me bringing this up. But like I say, back in 2009, you had that traumatic incident where your sister Jeanette, she took her life, and you had to deal with that. Like, obviously, that's such a traumatic and big part of your life. How did you handle that? And then not only how did you handle it, but how did you continue to keep disciplined and stay in the fighting and so on when such big happens in your life, and all you want to do probably is not face the world and not do the things that you've been doing?
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. Obviously, that it was a shock to us all. What happened. And obviously, at the time, I was supposed to be in prize fighter with Audley Harrison, Danny Williams. We were supposed to be in a prize fighter, and then I was in training for that. But then my sister just took her life. My mum said that I wasn't. I said maybe I could carry on to do it for my sister, but then no, I said no, I can't. I said it's family time now. It's family time. I haven't got time for a prize fight. So, my mum said, no, you're not doing that because I'm not. So I pulled out of there and, spent time with the family and my nieces and stuff. And took a little while to get over that. And then, I got back into training once I got myself right. Got back in training. And then obviously I was just thought about, my sister would want me to obviously carry on and do well, So that's what led me. Obviously, and I got my had my sister, had my son in the shorts. Just encouraged me to get out there and do well.
Yeah. So how did you deal with it then? Because obviously there'll be a lot of guys who listen to this who will go through various battles. We'll face various battles. Like, was there anything in particular that you put your faith in, or that you did, or did you just let like the natural procedure and the healing happen, or did you actively try and move on and move past it, or try and handle things well? Like, what how do you deal with like some of the life's biggest challenges like that?
I just Well, I'm a believer of God,
Mm-hmm.
so that did help me. A believer of God, and obviously my training, keeping fit, yeah, it motivated me. But obviously, it kept me going because obviously I didn't want to just sit there, and if I sat there doing nothing, I'll just be thinking about it, or thinking and thinking. And I had to do something to get my mind motivated to. I mean, so I was always in the gym. So it's just it's kind of like just made me focus on that and not just focusing on what had happened. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think you've mentioned the faith in God. I think during our toughest times, I think we need faith in something, don't we? Otherwise, where do we go if we don't have faith in anything? I think that's really important.
Yeah, definitely. It helped me. It helped me with obviously with God praying, and obviously I know my sister was up there with God, so I know she was okay, and
Yeah.
she wasn't in pain. She just I know she suffered from postnatal depression, so it was yeah.
Yeah. So I always feel guilty. I only turn to God when I need to, rather than a daily practice. I always wait for the worst times to come. Do you have like habits and routines that kind of allow you to do various prayer and so on, or do you do what I do and use God sparingly?
Sorry, sorry, what would you mean?
So do you have like a faith practice? So I was saying I only turn to God when like things are at their worst. I feel guilty sometimes for doing that. Do you have a regular practice where like you will pray like
Oh,
daily?
yeah, sorry about I can hear you.
That's all right.
Yeah. I mean, I always pray. Like, obviously, I do my best to pray in the mornings, and pray before I go to bed. Or sometimes when things go wrong, I'm always like, I'll pray like, oh God, I leave it in His hands, but I pray. You know what I mean? I just pray everything's gonna work out. Always pray. Always I pray for people that are ill. I just go into his routine, Always praying when things come up, and then obviously whenever I see a hearse go past with a coffee, I'm always doing this when I see one,
Yeah. So you've used the word routine there. Something I'm big on. Like, do you have your own daily routine set up from like morning till night with your nutrition, with your training? Are you a creature of habit, Michael?
Yeah. I had COVID 3 weeks ago, quite well about 3 weeks ago. So I was out for a while, and I obviously lost some of my strength and stuff. But I'm back in the gym now, so I go to the gym at 5:30 in the morning, for a couple of hours. Then I come back, sort myself out, and then sort my daughter out, drop her to school. Then obviously I've got some clients I train, and then I train them. Then I pick up my daughter, go back home, and then I do stay home and do homework and stuff. So that's kind of like the routine really at the moment.
I'll have to come down and have a session when I'm at my sister's next. I'll have to book in a
Was
session.
that?
I'll have to book in a session with you when I'm at my sister's down south.
Man, listen, whenever people train me, people are loving it because they as time goes on, if they're seeing the benefits.
Yeah, no,
The
I'd love to, man.
benefits
It'd be an honour.
Yeah, I'm not sparring you though. I'll do pads. I ain't.
I don't do no sparring.
Well,
I'm just doing pads.
Well, you ain't got to worry about. You haven't got to worry about sparring me. I think you'd be all right. I think you could. In
They-
fact, you
they-
could come out of retirement to fight me. You get your win then.
yeah, but but I said the only thing you be getting hit with is the pad.
Good, mate. Good. Yeah, because I saw your video on Instagram of you deadlifting, man. You're strong as hell as well. So I don't want no.
Was that?
I saw your video on you deadlifting on Instagram.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
don't want none of that, man. I don't want a piece of that. What does a heavyweight like you eat? Like, are you a big eater?
Am I what?
A big eater? Like, what's a heavyweight like you eat?
Oh, yeah. When I'm in training, yeah, I eat big. Like, I've obviously breakfast. I have like like a bowl of muesli or porridge, with honey. Yeah, well, that's about five. I eat that about 4:30 in the morning, and with coffee, well, water, then coffee, and then yeah, come breakfast. When I come back, I have like 6 boiled eggs. Come lunchtime, I've like obviously chicken breast, salad, vegetables, a little bit of potato for like carbs, and then obviously in the evening, yeah, I've the main meal.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Are you a fan of like a cheat day? Do you have a cheat day or a cheat meal? Or
Yeah, sometimes I might have a cheat day. I might have a Burger King on a Saturday.
yeah. Sounds good, man. Sounds good. You eat pretty healthy then. You eat pretty good, right?
Yeah. I do. Sometimes I don't, but at the moment, yeah, I'm eating quite healthy. I'm eating healthy because I'm back in training, back doing the weights, back doing cardio. So yeah, I'm feeling nice and strong now.
Good, man. I don't know what I'd do without training, to be honest, Michael. Like, it keeps me good mentally, physically, keeps me out of trouble, keeps me on path. I dread to think what would happen if I got injured or so on. What do you think you'd be doing if you weren't fighting? Like, if you weren't a fighter, like, do you ever think like what else you would do?
Well, if I wasn't boxing, I don't know. I don't know what I'd be. You always when you ask that question to people or fighters, they always say, "Oh, I'll probably end up in prison or they do something bad." But I always thought about I always thought that I would get into IT. To be fair,
Yeah, that's a bit
yeah,
different.
when I finished school, I was looking at IT, doing IT. But my mum encouraged me to start at college at sixth form and go and do college, I think, or uni. But boxing was just in my head. Yeah, so I started when I was 13, like I said, and obviously when I'm all the way through my school years, everything is boxing. So yeah, I said to my mum, "No, I'm not doing that. I'm just everything is boxing." My mum said, "Listen, you need something to fall back on when you finish." But I never listened. Wish I did now, but yeah, I never listened. I was just boxing all the way. But like I said, I've got a boxing experience to pass on to the fighters and personal clients. Yeah.
Oh, mate, you got a wealth of experience. Yeah, I think anyone who's under your wing will be very lucky to be taught by someone who's got the skills and the knowledge that you have. Yeah, I'm sure people will be queuing up to train with you, man.
Yeah, I haven't put it out there yet. I've got a few plans, but I will be. I'm putting it out there before or after Christmas. Yeah, and then go from there.
Sounds good, man. What do you think the number one thing boxing's taught you? If it's taught you anything, any skill, like what would you say that the main thing you've learned from the discipline and dedication of being a professional fighter is?
What was it taught me?
Yeah, what's the number one thing that it's taught you being a professional fighter, living that life? Like,
It's taught me discipline. Discipline. It's taught me how to control my temper. You know, and it's taught me how to. It's taught me how to obviously I had to do a situation really. It's there's a lot boxing. Boxing for me and a lot of people was like number one sport, number one, because it's not just like physical thing, but mentally it's good. It's good for your mind mentally.
yeah,
The training and so on. It's just amazing.
Discipline is essential. It sounds. I think a lot of people hear the word discipline, and it sounds like it's not a good thing. It sounds really restrictive, but it gives you a good life, doesn't it? I always try and encourage guys to
to find some form of discipline in their life, because it gets you what you want. If you're disciplined with your food, you get in great shape. If you're disciplined with your money, you have money in the bank. So for me, discipline is something that we should be training every guy from a young age to learn. And I think boxing, I boxed for a few years. It's definitely the toughest but most disciplined thing I've tried. And I think getting more young lads into a boxing sport, even if it's not sparring, because I don't know what your thoughts are on sparring age, like Michael, like how old you think kids should be when they let loose. But it doesn't matter. It's all about the training and the lifestyle that goes with it, I think.
Yeah, it is. It is about the training lifestyle. I mean, if you're 13, if you're young and you're aspiring, it's all good, But sometimes I feel like not so much amateurs, but as a professional, the damage is done to sparring. Because obviously you get gym wars. Gym wars happens a lot, and I just think there's a lot of fighters out there who damage damaged like mad, but they're kind of like missing something, timing, their balance over the players, and it's for me, it's mainly sparring.
Yeah,
it's not so much the fights; it's mainly sparring. But it's like when you spar with these world champions, it's full on. It's full on, and when I spar Klitschko, we're wearing like 18-ounce gloves, and it's tough. And then you think when Vladimir goes in the ring and he puts 10-ounce gloves on, it's it's different ball game.
Yeah. Well, I've never fought at any decent level, but if you have a look at my nose, it goes that way. This is all
Same here, mate. Same here.
Broke my ribs just through sparring, because, like you say, it can get a bit heated sometimes in there, and even with 16-ounce gloves on, you feel it. I think people say 16-ounce gloves like it's nothing, but you get hit flush with 16 ounces by someone good, you still know you've been hit, man. So, like you say, if you're sparring daily, like a lot of guys do, because they just like to fight, I can see what you're saying. It's probably more inside of the sparring that the damage is done. So going back to that age thing, what do you think is a good age? Like, because I think a lot of times parents live their life through their children, so they want their kids to get in the ring and get stuck in when they've never been in the ring once. So, like, what age do you think is good for somebody who wants to find out a bit more about themselves and about boxing? Like, what kind of age do you think lads would be wise to get in the ring at and start doing a bit of sparring?
Well, probably 13, 14, I would say. Yeah, 13, 14. But but obviously when they start like 13, 14, they're not straight away going to start sparring. It probably 8 months down the line. 8 months, 9 months. Like a guy that I know, he trains his amateurs, and he's like, I don't let them spar for a whole year when they're starting. He wants them to get fit. He wants them to obviously know all the punches and so on. Then he lets them spar.
And how do you think we encourage people to keep their skills in the ring? So how do you get a young lad who's 14 or 15 who starts getting pretty good with his hands? Like, how do we encourage people like that to keep their skills inside the boxing gym? Because it could be quite easy at that age to start taking it out with them, taking it to school, on the street. Like, have you got any advice on that, or like any experience in that one?
Yeah, you just got to remind them that, what, don't use your fist outside. Because obviously when I was boxing, our coach was like, you know what, don't use your fist, don't get into no fights, because you will lose your license. You will lose your for your right to box in the ring, and that always played in my mind. Not that I was a fight anyway, but it always played in my mind. Like, you know what, sometimes there'd be a situation where I could be getting a fight, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, no, I'm not doing it, because if I do something to this guy, I'm not boxing. I mean, I get my license removed, and that's my boxing done. So I always had that in the back of my mind. But of course, if somebody started on me first or hit me first, then it's a different ball game, But I wasn't one to start a fight.
No, well, I think that'd be a bit foolish to pick on you. That's another danger, though. You could really hurt someone, Like if you smack you could kill them, right? Your skills.
That's how they see it. They see it like, end of the day, you've been trained with. You've been trained teach your hand, so you know what you're doing when you're fighting. You know what punches to throw. You're fighting somebody who's just like a normal guy or just knows how to really swing his hands, but he don't know what he's doing. But you know exactly what you're doing. So that's why in the law, if you caught fighting, they're fighting you're a boxer, you can go down.
Yeah, man.
And that's what. Do you remember a guy called Dean Francis?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So I mean, God rest his soul. He died some years ago, but he got into a situation where I think he was in a takeaway. I might be wrong, but he was in a takeaway, and he saw a girl get hassled by 3 men, and he went in there and he knocked them all out, and he got like 2 years.
Right.
He served about, I think, then like maybe a year or 12 months out of it. But then even when he came out, the board wouldn't give him his license. He had to wait like another 6 months before he could do anything. So and the board says to him, "Would you do that again?" He said no. But he was just saving the girl, which is sad. And that's the punishment. He gets.
Well, I think it must be hard. Like, some of the best fighters have had the toughest upbringings, haven't they? So you can imagine that, it's in them. So to be able to switch it on and off, I can see how that would be a challenge, especially if you see something like that on a night out and you want to do the right thing, and you probably, you got these to use and you're good with them. It must be hard for a good fighter like yourself even to switch off and to get aggressive in the ring, but be non-aggressive outside of it.
It is tough. It's tough.
Yeah. How did you deal with your nerves and that, Michael, before you were fighting? Because I'm guessing you experienced anxiety and nerves and fear. What were your management skills for handling these emotions that you feel?
You know what? It was hard. It was hard. It was hard to do, especially when you have big fights. You got butterflies. You're thinking about your opponent. Especially if he's like world class or he's a puncher. It's like, I always worry, but I'll kind of like sometimes I like my trainer wants me to get warmed up quite soon, and then it's get warmed quite soon. But usually I'm not warming up until last minute because it was my nerves. I didn't want to get up as like warming up too much. Sometimes I think I'm going to burn myself out. So I used to sit there until it was like 10 minutes when I was ready to go. All right, let's go and warm up. And once I knew it was near time, I'd punch. The nerves kind of, it wasn't so bad then. Obviously, when I went out there, and the bell went and the first punch came, then all my nerves have gone then because that's it. I'm in the fight. But beforehand, I'm back and forth to the toilet. Just drinking. And sometimes, obviously, like I could be quite moody. If the campers kept coming in and shining me, it's doing my head in. I wasn't really friendly. I was quite annoyed. I just want people to leave me alone.
Yeah, that's understandable, man. And look, even the great.
I just want to be left for my mind to deal with the task ahead.
Yeah, totally understandable. And like I say, when you hear from Mike Tyson, who's admits that he cried before pretty much every fight. So yeah, it shows you. Did you ever go in the ring with the fear of being knocked out, or did you always think about knocking out the opponent?
I always thought about knocking out an opponent, but at the same time, I always thought about I could sometimes think to myself, oh no, what happens if I lose? I might lose. This might happen. I had a lot of things going in my mind. So, but I always thought about getting out there and obviously knocking. Just imagine my opponent knocked out, or I'll call me a body shot. When I'm looking at my opponent, studying him, I see some openings. I just put in my mind like, this is going to happen? When I throw this shot.
Yeah. What's your shot, man? What's your favorite knockout shot?
My favorite, my hardest, and a lot of trainers have said this when I took him on the pads, is my left hook.
Yeah.
It's shame, because sometimes I don't really. I'm always jabbing. I'm always the boxer, But when I land my left hook, like when I look at Audley, I'm not at Colin Kenner. certain fighters, even like I've just and I fed the left hook out, but I didn't fight enough,
Yeah, nice. So to any guy listening then who wants to improve his life a little bit, get in better shape, improve his mindset a little bit, what do you think a couple of the key things outside of training are to do just to make your life a little bit better? Because there's a lot of guys out of shape now that are a little bit lost. Lockdowns hit, COVID was around, just got a little bit lost. Bad habits, like anything you can encourage men to do that would make them better men.
What in training?
Yeah, in life, man. In life.
I'll say obviously their diet. Diet is a big thing. Obviously all over for the mind as well. Because you can't. Some men are drinking Coke or just alcohol, beers. It's you're just gonna feel rubbish.
Mm-hmm.
Diet is a big thing. Obviously reading, a lot of reading. Just studying certain things that you're interested in. Just keep just keep doing that really to improve your lifestyle. But I would say reading positive books, quotes, and a good diet.
I've got to ask you about the reading now, man. Before we wrap up, I love reading. What are you reading at the minute?
I'm not reading nothing at the moment. I'm not reading nothing at the moment. The last book I read was Mark Prince.
Okay, what's that?
It's about his son. Obviously, his son got murdered, and his son got killed. He's a promised football player. So I was reading about obviously Mark from Mark and his family from when he was a kid, growing up, and it was it was quite interesting. He's actually been through a hard time throughout his life.
Have you read any of Jeff Thompson's work?
I had one. I got one of his books. I read it years ago, but I need to get back onto it again. I did have something about the elephant.
Yeah, Elephant and the Twig. I'll tell you what I'll do. After this, I'll grab after this, I'll grab your address. I'll send you a couple of books. I think you'll like them.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I forgot all about that book. I don't think I completely read it, but that's the last book I read was Mark Prince. But Jeff's I follow him on Instagram.
Yeah, he used to knock people out for fun on the door, man. But he's changed his whole life around. I know him quite well now, and he's a really inspirational guy. So I'll send you a couple of his books. So you see what you think.
Have you read his books?
Yeah, I've read them all, man. Like I said,
how do you read all his books?
I've read all his books. Yeah, I'm a big
fan. How do you find his books? How do you find them? Good, very good.
Brilliant. They're brilliant. They get harder every time because he gets more and more advanced, and he speaks some stuff that I don't understand. It goes over my head, but I think he's fantastic. So I'll send you a couple, and you can let me know what you think, man. That'd be cool.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
That'd be cool. So when can we expect you back in the ring then? I'm looking out for it now. I feel bad that I said that you retired, so I apologise. But when are you back?
No, don't apologise, because the thing is, when you're quiet and you're not doing, and there's nothing, you're not making, your name's not really out there, everyone thinks you're retired. That's it. I mean, everyone thinks I'm retired anyway. But I'm a silent guy. I don't really say what I'm doing. I keep it quiet.
So next year, maybe next year we'll see you in the ring.
No, hopefully. But if it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
If it don't, I've had a great career.
Cool, man.
And obviously, I like to try and like I said, do personal training and train fighters. So yeah, wow. I can't complain. I've had a great career. I fought everybody. Former champion Lamont Brewster.
Yeah.
Corey Sanders, and sparring with the Klitschko's. I went to Lance Lewis training camp. I've been there, so it's great.
Yeah, you have had, and that's why I was so excited to speak to you, man. So I really appreciate you giving up your time, because.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me on the show, mate.
No, mate, absolute pleasure. You've made my day, man. And I'll come and do a little bit of pads with you, man. I'll show you how to do it. All right, I'll teach you.
Yes, sir.
All right, Michael Sprott, you're the man. You're a real gentleman, mate. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Take care now. Bye.